Okay. All right. And we're live. So right now I'm sharing this over to Twitter, and Dan is eating his rice pudding.
Mm-hmm. Priorities, man. Priorities.
It's been a really long time since I've had rice pudding.
Really?
I guess
the Mexican one.
I guess
Senor rice.
I guess it's the time of year, though.
Did you say senor?
I always eat it. Love it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah. Cold rice pudding.
It's nice we can get back here today, especially after me not being able to make it last week.
Because you're a loser.
I am.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully I can make it through an hour of this. We'll
Probably
see.
Not.
Who knows?
Probably not.
Yeah, last week was absolutely terrible.
You know what? I'm taking these headphones off because they sound terrible. Now, this is that Lenovo gaming laptop, and they've just shut off on me on their own. All right.
Well, the webcam looks all right on there. It looks like it's at least 1080p.
That's my camera.
Oh, okay. I was like, man, that's really good for a gaming laptop.
Yeah, no, that's my camera.
Yeah, no, last week was interesting. Yeah, I'm still trying to completely recover, but having a tooth ripped out of your mouth and a big screw drilled into your jaw just really is not an enjoyable way to spend your life.
I have no sympathy for you. That's what you get for living under a bridge.
It happens, eat too many rocks.
Mm-hmm.
So, Outback Mate, hello, welcome. Thank you for being here. Hi. So we're going to have our normal weekly Wednesday night show here, Unhinged Tech. So we've got some stuff to talk about tonight, kind of. I mean, Dan and I actually haven't discussed this, so I just threw up a topic. I figured it would be a good time to talk about a lot of end-of-year stuff. I mean, all the major phones have come out for the year now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Fold 2 came out, the iPhones came out, the new, the Notes came out. I mean, the Pixels. I mean, everybody's released their major phone for the year. So I thought, it might be a good idea to do like a kind of an end-of-year recap, talk about some other stuff, maybe some deals or suggestions for holiday stuff. Because, hey, Black Friday shopping is basically already here. I mean, we can't.
Yeah, they've already started it. So
yeah, we can't go do it in person. So might as well. I got one heck of a deal on that Tab S7 that I got the other day. $350, man.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a hell of a deal.
Hey. Oh, and then my son decided to chime in. Hello, son.
Hi, Kyle.
And then Digital Slang, what is up?
Luca
here. Yeah. So got some of the usuals. So yeah, lots of crazy stuff. So I was seeing on Samsung, apparently, if you want to trade in your Tab S6, you can get a Tab S7 for like $150.
Because they're not selling.
No, they're not selling all. So
which
yeah,
I'm shocked at, because the pre-orders for them, those Tab S7 and S7 Plus, the most pre-orders they've ever had for one of their own tablets.
Well, their tablets are not exactly in high demand. Everybody wants iPads, and I just happen to like Samsung tablets, so it works out well for me. Mm-hmm. Scott Piper 22, hello. Drew Lips, hey man, thanks for showing up, Drew. Glad to have you in here. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff there, and if y'all don't go to the website slickdeals.net, one, you're missing out, and two, you're probably going to be ruining your life because you'll be checking it like 80 times a day looking for deals.
I do it all the time.
All day long. I have like key websites that I check, and Slick Deals is like number 3. It's like I get on my computer, I log into Twitter, I log into YouTube, and I fire up like Slick Deals.
I got my bonus today, so I started. That's exactly what I was doing all morning, refreshing, looking for MacBook Air deals. And then I obviously don't find any in there, and I walk into Best Buy, and it's like, bam, wow, thanks. So,
have you already opened? I mean, surely you've opened it and set it up.
So, whoever did the reset on it did something wrong with it with Big Sur, and there's like 16 partitions. It's a bit of a bug with Big Sur. Yeah, so the wife's gonna have to do it because she's the Apple tech. So
how do you have 16 partitions on a 256 gigabyte hard drive?
Well, I'm telling you, you can do it. Ken Dobo had this problem when he was restoring his before he sold it. He had like 4 or 5 partitions.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody at Geek Squad knows how to do it for me.
Yeah, I got it from the Microsoft website. So I lucked out. It was like a 1-day sale till they ran out of supply. It was $549 for the Tab S7 Plus, and it was $349 for the Tab S7. So I jumped all over that, and I really like it. I like the Tab S6 a lot, but I really wanted like 120 hertz refresh rate on the screen and some of the other stuff. And it's a new tech item, so I mean I usually upgrade them yearly anyway. So I bought the S7 Plus because the S7 didn't have an AMOLED screen in it, and so I was like, you know what, I'm not going to get the Tab S7. I don't want the LCD, and I decided to pass on that. And then turned to find out, now that I got this one, I actually kind of like it better than the S7 Plus.
Your son likes my chair. That means you should buy him one. It's only $150. I think you should buy him one, otherwise you're a bad father.
Well, I'm sure in a week you'll sell me yours.
You want to buy my chair, really?
I don't
My chair.
I don't want your chair with the blown out suspension.
That's right.
Spider-Man looks like a June bug. Oh, goodness. Yeah, so I've got the iPhone 12 and the 12 Pro Max, and somehow, actually, let me answer this real quick. Luca, yes, so the fingerprint sensor on the Tab S7 is way better than that garbage under the screen one that they have on the S7 Plus. I much prefer it. I wish they would have put it in both of them.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I didn't like that at all.
So, yeah, so I picked up the iPhone 12 and the 12 Pro Max, and I got to say, this 12 Pro Max is absolutely insanely good for shooting video. Like, it's even better.
Haven't they? I mean, it's not anything new, I suppose. Is it a big step up over the 12?
It is a little bit, just because of the stabilization. Like, I was noticing, I was holding on to the 12, and like I've been going back and forth using them for like B-roll, just to see if I can live with the 12. And I was doing some freehand recording yesterday, and it was like shaky as crap. Like, it did not look good. And I went and I grabbed I'd been using the Pro Max the last couple of days, and I had no problems. Like, it just seems like it's so smooth and it's not shaky. So I tried it out, and I went back and forth, and like, good gosh, there's a huge difference as far as the stabilization goes. At least from what I could tell, it seemed that way to me. And I think there is some special thing with this stabilization. It's only in the Pro Max and not the Pro. So I was going to turn around and sell the 12, but now I noticed.
So
oh, hey, Zach, how you doing? Actually, there's a ding in it. Like, my 12, I don't know. My phone's been sitting on my dresser for like a week now. I haven't touched it because I've been using the Pro Max. And I grabbed it last night, and I was looking at it, and like, I have the Apple silicone case, and there's a chunk out of the lip down in the bottom left, and there's a ding all the way to the metal on my phone. I don't know what happened. Like, it's
so fragile, them things.
It's a serious ding. Like, I don't know if my wife accidentally slammed it in the dresser drawer and put it back, or if the kids did something, but I'd take $100 hit just to turn around and sell it now. So I don't know. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, so, but it does sound like the iPhone is extremely fragile this year. It's like it's got. So, okay, the screen doesn't shatter, but for it not to shatter, the screen has to be softer. So obviously it's easier to scratch. And then you got this with the frame. And I've seen so many complaints about it. Luckily, my wife hasn't scratched hers or anything, but as soon as she got it in a case, screen protector. So
that's what I did with mine. And that's the frustrating thing. The way mine got dinged and it messed up, it's right at the lip just below the screen. So it didn't touch the screen protector. It went right through that thin little edge of the case.
Right.
Like, the most rare, vulnerable place that it could possibly even get.
That's bizarre. I mean, how would you even?
I don't know. I have no clue what happened to it.
Yeah.
But it's not one of those ones where it would have just been like a scratch or a scrape or whatever. I mean, it had some force. So I don't know. Maybe my kids knocked it off, hit it into the dresser. I don't know what happened to it, but I certainly didn't do it.
All right, the Outback Mate. I'm using the 4A 5G, the Note 20 Ultra, and the OnePlus 8T right now.
Let me see here. What does this mean, Luca? I bought the poor man's fold. I saw the G8X. Yeah, the G8X is not bad. I mean, if you want something that has the folding screen capability, the dual displays, I mean, it's not bad. I think that has a Snapdragon 855 in it, if I remember.
Don't know, but I'm looking at what Zach's talking about there. That suck.
Oh, it's so bad, dude. I talked about this right here. I mean, I didn't scratch it with my nails, but when I got my iPhone 12, I immediately took it out of the box, did the unboxing. As I was unboxing it, I set it off to the side gently on my nice, smooth wood table. And then I got done with my unboxing and there was a ding in it. I'm like, how in the world did this even happen? I was like super, super gentle with it. And I just set it down on, like, I didn't even set it down on anything that could normally scratch it. So I don't know.
Yeah, that sucks. I just released a video, and the title of it is I regret getting the Xbox Series X on day one.
Yeah, you got a lot of views?
That's literally just gone live. So, no, not yet. But I know there's going to be people like, oh, I'm going to stab you in the face.
Oh, there are. Is there a difference to the Stylus on the Tab S6 and the S7? Yes, there is. So they changed it. It does not have that more elliptical shape. It's more rounded. It still has the same button. It still has the same motion and air gestures, but it also it has a 9 millisecond response time. So whenever you're drawing and writing, there's less lag whenever you're drawing and doing things like that. So that's good. And the other thing that irks me, though, is like the Tab S6 comes with interchangeable tips. Like it comes with a few of them in the box. And the Tab S6.
And then they didn't release them this year when you didn't get any free tips because the Note, you always got that.
Yep. The Tab S7 and S7 Plus, no tips.
Yep.
Any news on the BlackBerry 5G? No, there's not yet. I was at a commission last week, so I haven't followed up with the onward mobility people. But I'm not expecting any new information really until after the first of the year. If they come out with anything before Christmas, I would be really surprised. Like things right now are just really slow right now. Everything's kind of released for the year. Everybody's winding down. I don't really see it. But what I do have is a Chinese knockoff Porsche design BlackBerry.
Yeah, I saw that before. So you think someone's put a 3D printed case on it?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I mean, there's no way this is stainless steel. I don't think. I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
If it says a BlackBerry Z10, you know it ain't no Porsche thing. So.
Well, the Z10, the P'9982 is based off of the Z10. It's the same phone. It's just in a Porsche housing, but they also bumped it up to 64 gigabytes of storage.
Makes
but
sense.
Yeah, it doesn't have the Porsche background on it. It doesn't have the special Porsche clock. Like I went into the settings and I'm like, what is this garbage? So yeah, I'm gonna be sending those pictures and promptly replying to them this evening to let them know that I want a refund and a return shipping label.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna make a video about it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Outback, where did I get the posters? So those posters, it's like 3 pictures together, and I got it on eBay. If you follow me on Twitter, if you don't follow me on Twitter, just message me there and I'll send you the link. But you can find me on Twitter there as my profile. My DMs are open. What's my opinion on the Tab Es6 Flight after using? Also, is it keyboard compatible? I think that it's a decent tablet. I mean, for what it is and for the price, I mean, I've seen these things going for $219 on Amazon and other places multiple times. So you really can't beat it with the S Pen that comes at that. And if you're just going to use it for simple stuff like normal tablet features, I think you're going to like it a lot. Now, when it comes to the keyboard compatibility, you can use a Bluetooth keyboard, but Samsung does not have a special one like they do with the S6 or the S7 where it connects with those little pins on the bottom. So you have to, I can't even remember. I've got another S6 Lite. I just ordered it and it showed up yesterday. So I'll be covering that over the next week. But I can't remember if it has the pins on the bottom or not because it's been a while. But otherwise, I think you just have to use a Bluetooth keyboard. Oh, thank you, son.
Happy Chef. I don't know whether Happy Chef's in here, but he's put on Twitter. Obviously, we're on Periscope or whatever, and he put, I feel like Dan looks into my soul when he looks into the camera. That serial killer look that I've got. I've been watching Dexter recently, so
yeah. I had a girlfriend a long time ago that used to love watching that show, and I just could not get into Dexter.
I could never. It just took me about 6 years of trying, and this time I've got into it. Because he was in 6 Feet Under.
I used to love that show. It was so good. He's a good actor.
He's a very good actor, but the problem was going from that to Dexter, I couldn't see him as anything other than what he was in 6 Feet Under.
I had the same problem too.
Yeah, now it's gone away. So I'm now on to season 5 of Dexter.
Okay.
So,
So I was going to say something. So I ended up walking out of Waffle House earlier.
You would have what?
I walked out of Waffle House.
You walked out of Waffle House.
Yeah. So I went over there and I was getting ready for it. It was like an hour ago, and it's right across the street. I mean, it's like 400 yards from my house. So I was talking to my wife, and we're like, we need to eat something real quick. And I was like, well, we go to Waffle House. So she's like, yes, I want to go to Waffle House. So we go across the street. I'm like, all right, we've got like 35 minutes to sit down and eat. And, usually they're pretty fast. I mean, they're pretty darn quick. And there's like 4 whole people in this whole restaurant. It was like 10 minutes, and not anybody came over to take our order. Not even like, hey, welcome to Waffle House. Here's a drink. So I was like, we got to go. Like, I don't have time for this. So we went down the street, grabbed Taco Bell, and I had like 1.5 minutes to spare getting my camera set up for this.
Very nice. Danny, D-Man2582 is the guy who sorted me out with my PlayStation 5.
Oh, well, cool deal. Nice.
Good guy. And 6 Feet Under is very good. It's a very, very good show. Yeah. What's up, Dom?
Hey, welcome. Glad to have you here. So, yeah. What do you think? I think this year's been a pretty good year for smartphones. Going into this year, I was really worried. Like, I was like, after everything happened in January, February, March, I was like, man, this is going to be a suck year for phones.
This last back end of the year, 6-7 months, has really been, considering we're still in a pandemic and it's spiking again, coming out thick and fast, and they're selling bucket loads of things now. I mean, if you look at the Xbox and the PlayStation as a thing right now, you cannot get them. Sony came out yesterday and said, we have no inventory left. We are going to try and get one more run out before Christmas. That's for the world.
Well, I mean, I know the manufacturing is still not at 100%. Like, they've been trying really hard to get stuff out. I mean, I give them a lot of credit for that. But when you look at the phones that came out this year, yes, like January, February, March, April, they were really stymied. Like, they were really, really significantly reduced. So
Mariana's died?
He died at 60.
Really? Wow, that's what he gets for the hand of God when he handballed and knocked us out of the World Cup in the 80s. Hey, it's football. We don't have any sympathy when it comes to football. All right.
He was a great soccer player.
He was a cheat as well, and a drag queen, and a drug addict.
So why aren't y'all best friends?
We were. What's up, Mama?
Hey. So, yeah.
I'll answer that question in a minute, Luke, once we've moved on.
I was really worried. I was like, maybe like the Pixel 4a got pushed way back. I mean, I think even the OnePlus Nord didn't get pushed back a few weeks. I mean, there was a lot of significant concerns the first half of the year. And then like a whole year's worth of phones came out in 4 months.
It's like, what? Especially in, what was it, October, November? September, October, November. It was just like, bang, bang, bang.
I have been putting my SIM card in a new phone like every 4 days. It's freaking ridiculous. Like this year, my channel, I guess, exploded at the right time because I've got all these new companies that have been sending me phones, like Xiaomi, and now Poco has spun off. They're their own brand now. They're no longer.
Yeah, I saw that. They're now their own entity.
So they sent me phones this year, LG mostly, and then some of the other phones. But yeah, it's just been like absolutely crazy. So in addition to all the other things I've been reviewing, it's just like phone after phone after phone. I'm like, good gosh.
Staring into somebody's soul, if you was wondering.
Yeah, it's nice. I like having this connected through Periscope so people can pop in on Twitter. It makes it easier. I mean, I got to pay the $20 a month for it, but I think it's worth it.
That's up to you. I'm your sidekick. Luca.
Protege.
Yeah. Is this better than the Pixel 5? Yes. The screen makes a big difference. With it being just that little bit bigger, it does make a big difference than the Pixel 5. You wouldn't know you wasn't using a Pixel 5, really. It's like a Pixel 5 XL, and it kind of feels the same because they coat the metal in that plastic on the Pixel 5. So you're not like really losing out anything. You've got the same cameras as on the Pixel 5, the same Snapdragon 765 as the Pixel 5. It's only got 6 gig of RAM, but you wouldn't know. I think this is the sweet spot for that. It's nice. I like it. Very, very impressed.
You know what I surprisingly don't like this generation is the Google Fabric cases. Like, I absolutely hate that case for the Pixel 5.
Absolutely gross. That one that we got with it.
It feels so bulky. It's slippery.
Colors as well. They're like, I got the chameleon green one, and it was. Oof.
It looks like the carpet. It looks like the carpet from like a 1980s roller rink.
Yeah, that's right. It does. Looks like the carpet out of a 70s car in England. It's like, what the hell is this?
So where you were conceived?
No, that was a park bench.
Oh, goodness gracious. My son's got a lot of questions tonight. Why has there been more smartphones than iPhones this year? Like, well, an iPhone is a smartphone, but the Android phones, they're just a lot more manufacturers. Apple only makes iPhones. They don't allow other people to make them. So when you've got LG, Motorola, Samsung, all these other different manufacturers, there's like 400 Android phones that come out a year. And this year we got, what, five iPhones? The SE, the Mini, the normal 12, the Pro, and then the Pro Max.
Mm-hmm. Too many, if you ask me.
They're
diluting. They're going Samsung. I mean, they've got a lot of phones right now.
Samsung is their own worst enemy. They're like, well, we'll just make phones for every category, and hopefully some of them stick. Like, just buckle down and make some really good ones. You don't need to make 8 million different phones. You don't need to have the A5, A51, A71, A90. The M series, the Fold series, the Z series now, the S series, the Note. And I want to talk about this. So this is kind of a hot topic interest item. And we go back and forth on this, but I've been hearing a lot of rumor. And I saw somebody posted earlier. They're talking about how the next Fold could be the very last one. And they might discontinue the line. I don't know if there's any truth to that or not. Not the Fold, sorry, the Note.
No. I've seen that. The 2021 Note will be the last Note, which wouldn't shock me because if the Z Fold is going to incorporate the pen and the S21 Ultra is going to incorporate the pen, why do you need a Note?
Exactly. I think, the Fold really is what the Note used to be. I mean, people just haven't adopted it yet. It's supposed to be the Note has always been the ultimate multitasking, productivity phone.
Yep.
So if you've got the Fold and the Fold does everything the Note does, you would want people to migrate to the Fold. And look, I think they'll come out with different models. I think there will be an entry level that will be like $12.99.
They said, haven't they? They're going to do a fan edition of it.
So I think what we're going to see in 2022 probably will be like three different Folds. And then we'll just have the S line that, of course, incorporates the pen. So you still get the best of both worlds. You can just get a pen with anyone. And I advocated that for a long time. My thing is I think they should get rid of the S line and just have the Note because the Note has a much more notoriety among people. Like that name stands out. So I think they should just call it the Note and get rid of the S line.
I agree.
It is. It's whatever. And the thing is the S Pen is so cheap. I mean, it's not like it's that big of a deal, but I think the reason though is they make different sizes of the S lineup. So I think they would be hard pressed to make like a smaller phone with the stylus. Like who wants
it? It's only, from what I read, it's only going to be the Ultra that has S Pen.
Really?
But it's also not going to have a place. I was reading this today. It's not going to have a slot for it.
Just support.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it seems like they should have done that a long time ago, though, really. I mean, they've got the lock on the stylus. Why not open it up? I mean, you're not going to cut into yourselves that much. Somebody that wants, you're just going to give you Samsung customers something more that they want to stay committed to the brand. I mean, I see it as a win-win.
For me, they should release the Note, and the 2021 Note should come out with the S series, and they should keep it where the stylus fits inside, and then keep the end-of-year devices for the Z Flip and the Z Fold and whatever else new they're going to come out. I'd be shocked if they get rid of the Note. I can see the Note becoming a part of the S line. I really can. It'll just be the Galaxy S Note or some bull crap.
Well, what they need to do is they tried this year with the A series, they really need to bolster their mid-series phones and let that be like the S lineup.
Yes, absolutely.
Like,
I mean, their biggest selling phone is the Galaxy A51, if I remember rightly. It's like huge for them.
yeah, well, it is. It is really big. But also, you look at the fan edition, and that's been a really good phone this year.
That was great. I had that, and that is such an impressive device. Especially like when you look today, Black Friday, you can get them.
$500.
Huh?
They're like $500.
349 if you go over into Best Buy and get it put on your carrier there.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I've been seeing unlocked deals for like $529. I mean, that's one deal.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's such a good phone, really is. I'm going to say I preferred the FE to the Note for some reason. It just felt it had good battery life for a start. That always helps.
Well, what they need to do is ditch that. The Note 20 this year is just a complete waste of space. Like, they should have done the fan edition Note is what they should have done.
Yeah. Well, they did, but it was called a Galaxy Note 20. And it was $1,000. And that's what it was. It was a fan edition, basically. It was a plastic. That phone should have been $699.
Ben, Note had a Note a few years. My mom had one a few years ago. Let's say it went first one. Would you drop in the toilet or what? That's what I read through those lines.
You know, you're right, Luca, and I'm interested in the Fold FE very much so. I wouldn't care if it was plastic. In fact, I think I'd prefer it to be plastic because it wouldn't be as heavy. And
it is very heavy.
I wouldn't have to worry about it quite so much on the outside. And obviously on the inside, they're going to have some kind of a lot harder screen.
Well, you know,
you can't have pen support on a soft screen like it's just had on the last two. So they've got to have broke through with something where you've got a pretty sturdy screen in there. Lenovo's new foldable laptop as well, I believe you can use Stylus with that as well. So
yeah, but that sucker is like this thick. I mean, it's like a deep dish pizza with the screen.
But the screen it's still soft, unless they've come up with it's new. I don't know. I've not read anything about it. I know that they've been trying, but I just didn't see them. I
don't know anything about it. And honestly, I got to say, like, I was really interested in the Wing at first, but as I've been using other phones, like, I like a lot of these novel form factors, but having returned the Duo because it had so many problems, my Fold is still sitting on my dresser next to my bed. I haven't turned it on in a week. Like, the extra things that you have to do to use these features, I just don't take advantage of them. I just use my phone so quickly all day long. I just use the front screen.
That's why I appreciate this, because it's no frills. No frills, big screen, super fast, and a great camera.
Well, that's what I told you before. Before you got your Fold 2, and before I even bought mine, I told you I don't want to get it because I'm not going to use it, just like I'm not going to use this one.
That's why I did mine. I got rid of it because I used a tiny front screen.
Yeah, you're limiting yourself. Like, I would go back and use the Note. I'm like, man, having all this screen is just so amazing. Yes, having the Fold like the hour at night when I'm in bed and I have it actually open was nice. But throughout the day, I don't open it. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, it's just the Note is the Fold is a strange device.
Yes. Is there a phone coming out in December? I don't know any phones coming out in December. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if one did, but. King Singh, are you going to make a video? I'm going to make a video about it. I guess you didn't see my follow-up post, but to answer your question on how is it, apparently it's a fake. It is not a legitimate BlackBerry Porsche device. It was sold as one, and yeah, it's a Z10 in some sort of a Porsche-looking body. It may be it. I mean, it might be metal. I can't tell, and I'm not going to take a knife to it to see how it scratches because I'm sending it back. But I am going to make a video about it, but it's not the video you think.
Does the Pixel have a good battery? Luca wants to know. I've not even looked, but I know today I've had it on me all day. And what's my battery percentage? I can't even see it.
The battery, I think, is only like 200 milliamps off from the other one. Isn't it like 4100?
3800 in this.
I knew it was close. With the Snapdragon 765, though, that should get you all day. I mean, 8 hours.
Oh, God, yeah. I'm on 58% right now. And I've had 2.5 hours screen on time. And it's only the second day I've had it. So
the Z Flip is absolutely overpriced, but it is a really nice phone. And honestly, I can't say it's very overpriced, though. Let me take that back a little bit.
Yeah, to the Motorola. What's it?
The Razr. I think the build quality is significantly better than. I think it's significantly better than the Razr. I think the hardware in it is better. I think the screen. I think maybe better. I mean, I think both of them have decent screens, but because it's novel, like early technology, that's what you're paying for. You're paying for the luxury of the fact that they just made it and they didn't mass produce it. But I think it's a really good phone. I really enjoy mine, but does it feel like it's worth it? No, you can get a phone that works just as good for $700. It just doesn't fold.
What's funny is the Razr is now $999 at T-Mobile.
I saw that. I honestly thought about picking one up, but here's the thing. I would like to play with one, but nobody's going to watch my video. So it's not worth my time.
And it seems to be a super fragile phone. That really does. I'd be scared of having that phone as my everyday carry.
Here we go. Need your absolutely the 8T. The spec wise, I mean, a lot of it's the same. 8 gigabytes of RAM. It's got, I think mine's got 256 gigabytes of storage, but it's got the Snapdragon 865. Like, there's very little actual difference in them.
120 hertz screen in the T over the 90 hertz in the 8.
And that's one of the big things.
65-watt charging.
Yes, which is super fast. I did and did you see my Twitter video I did the other day? And it recharged from like 20 to 100% and right at like 30 minutes, like 28.
In my mind, I told you when I first got that one, I plugged it in. I was like, "This is like crazy."
No, I did that time lapse video while I was working on editing another video. I'm like, "Holy smokes, it's done already!"
Yeah, it's fantastic. And anyone says people moan about wireless charging. You don't need wireless charging when you've got that.
That's what I said. I'm like, who needs wireless charging when you can go from 0 to 100 in 30 minutes? I mean, 39 minutes. It's absolutely insane. And you got a 4,500 milliamp battery, so it lasts all day. I can't remember. I think that the OnePlus 8 has UFS 3.0, and this one has 3.1.
Yes.
And also, there was another thing I was going to say. Shoot.
Suppose they got improved cameras, but the cameras are
maybe. The jury's out on that one. I'm still in the process. I'm going to go out and test that out tomorrow while I do nothing on Thanksgiving. But yeah, that 120 hertz screen is clutch. The battery life does seem to be better. Like, even though they're both like 45, wasn't the OnePlus 8 4,500 as well? Or was it 4,000? I think it was 4,000 and the OnePlus 8 Pro's 4,500.
Don't remember. Sorry. Don't remember.
I would go with the 8T. And also, well, I was going to say, it comes with the 65-watt charger in the box. You don't have to pay extra for it.
Yep.
And they got a lot of good deals on them right now. So I would, if I were going to recommend one, I would say get the 8T.
It is my favorite phone of this year.
It's so
really is. It's just the camera lets it down.
Android 11 straight out of the box too.
Yeah, it's a really, really good device. And I'm surprised I'm saying that because I fell out with OnePlus this year, but this is more of a OnePlus device.
Oh, absolutely is. And I don't usually get excited about the T series devices. Like, I just don't. But this one feels like their best phone of the year.
Notice that came out after a certain pay left.
Yeah, but you see that you shared that tweet earlier about back in the lab. I'm like, what does that mean? Well, he's
starting his own company again, maybe.
Is it going to be 1 minus?
Yeah, that's right. Just me. Just me.
One.
Someone like Samsung or something like that should throw money at that guy.
He's genius. He's a visionary when it comes to the way that he works, and he's very, very smart and business minded when it comes to saving money.
OnePlus brand all the way up until 8. He got very arrogant with it. Don't get me wrong, and he become rather.
I think that's last year. I think the OnePlus 8 and the 8 Pro were, and what they did with the pricing and trying to
that wasn't him.
Yeah, they probably pushed him out of the way.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know. I don't hold anything against the guy. I think he makes.
I hope he does something really great. LG should hire him and say, right, fix our software.
Right.
I mean, how good would an LG phone be if it had a copy of the Oxygen OS?
I have a short, simple answer for this. Absolutely. These new the new Apple Silicon MacBooks, the Apple Silicon, the M1 computers across the board are putting out. They're just embarrassing anything that's got an Intel chip in it, and the prices are so good too. Like I've been tempted to go get a Mac Mini just so I can like use it. Like I could.
This thing is insane.
I could sit at my desktop here with my 32-inch monitor, and I could edit using Final Cut Pro. Like I'm seriously thinking about picking one up. Oh yeah, hold on. I'll answer this here in a second, King Sing.
Well, look at that. That's the timeline on an 8 gig of RAM, but bog standard on Final Cut Pro. It just scrubs through it like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, it's so impressive. Like I'm really thinking about picking up the Mac Mini. Like I'm not replacing my MacBook Pro. I don't see the point in it at all. But it would be really nice to sit here, sit here in my nice chair, use my 32-inch 4K monitor, and work on my videos. Like I'm seriously thinking about getting one. They're so cheap for what they are.
And then here's LumaFusion, so I can use LumaFusion if I wanted to as well. It's so good that you can use iPad apps on it. So I can use Canva on here and all like that. Like
yeah, I do like
need all that stuff. So. This thing is fast. I mean, it's unbelievably quick. You open something up and it's just there. It's no
what $699 brand new
$699 version that you don't seem to be able to get anymore. It's disappeared off Best Buy's website. Gone. Don't even say sold out. It's just gone.
That's weird.
So
let me see.
Yeah, this thing
it was a Z Flip $1449. The silicone case, silicone cases can be nice. Answered that one. I never tried the G8X. I saw it when I was at CES back in January, and I got to go hands-on with it a little bit. It's just a smaller version. They did it with the G8. They did it with the V50, the V60. They all really are the same. I mean, it is good. It's solid, especially for the price point. I mean, you probably only paid like $450 for that, if I had to guess.
If that.
Well, I'm just saying that because he's in South America, because it costs.
Yeah, importing it.
Yeah, I would be surprised if more than $450 or $5. I mean, it's good for the price. Your thoughts on Apple removing the charger? I think that it's a complete trash move. Like I think that their justification for it, if they didn't come out with their MagSafe charger,
you'd still have a charger in the box.
Huh?
If they didn't come out with a MagSafe charger, you'd still have a charger in your box.
Yeah. Exactly. Like they got rid of that. And here's the other thing. You have to have a 20-watt charger to power the MagSafe properly. So if you use the 18-watt or you use the 5-watt, it won't charge it like it's supposed to.
Yep.
I don't even think the 5-watt works with it at all. I think you have the 18 will, I think, but it's diminished.
Yep.
So
typical Apple, we will create you a problem but sell you a fix. They've done this all along. It's perfect Apple marketing and business, how they generate business. They will take something away from you to then sell you something that's overpriced, and they know they're going to sell it for. They'll sell tons of them. There's no doubt about it. People will buy them because it's an Apple.
So yeah, you got to buy the 20-watt charger, and they charge you $20 for that, and then you got to buy the MagSafe, which is what, like another 50 or 40 or something.
45. I thought it was. The 20-watt charger from Apple was $40.
Oh, I thought it was only like 20. But either way, yeah. So you got to basically spend like $80 to get the new charging solution that's only as fast as wireless charging. It's only 15 watts. Yeah. You got a 20-watt charger for 15-watt charging. Look, they came out and they're like, oh, we're so courageous and we're trying to save the environment.
Save the environment.
Mm-hmm. Make the environment better by leaving 3 billion chargers out there that are basically useless for their
landfill. You know, it's like, really?
No point for you just basically got every iPhone user in the world to go throw their charger away because it's useless now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can charge other things, but I'm just saying for the phone, you can't use it. You can't use the old cables because I mean, you can't even use USB-C. Like if they move to a universal cable, you could say, okay, they're trying to save the environment that way, not using proprietary stuff. You have to use a 20-watt charger. They came out with MagSafe, which they're charging you extra for, and they're building into the silicone case. You can't get it without it, and they charge you. The whole thing, I think, is a complete sham. It is a sham, and it is a lie to the world, and they're being like trying to celebrate themselves as being brave and courageous. Well, I think that they're trash.
Now you know why I don't work there any longer.
That's because you realize they didn't actually have apples in the store you could eat.
I don't like apples. Do I look like a guy who eats apples, you weirdo?
You don't eat apples.
Why would you even think that? Oh,
It's not processed. Maybe processed candy like cinnamon apples.
ooh, no, I don't like cinnamon either. Don't like apples.
I don't like cinnamon. Like, have you ever eaten at Cracker Barrel? They have those up in Ohio.
Yeah.
You know how, like, with breakfast with some of them, they'll give you those hot sliced apples, like the cinnamon sliced apples or whatever.
My wife has them all the time, the cinnamon apples.
I don't like them. I think they stink.
I just don't like apples. I'm not big at apples. So,
All right, so let me answer this other question. Not phone. All right, so can you tell it's a fake Porsche BlackBerry phone? Yes, I can absolutely tell. I actually got mine today. Coincidence, boots up. Okay, so it's good that yours boots up with the Porsche logo and theme. That's a good start. It should also have the Porsche Clock on there. So on the Porsche Clock, it looks distinctly different, and it looks very cool. It's one of my most favorite things about it, which you wouldn't expect. But here, if you can see that, this is the Porsche Clock. So the Porsche Clock versus the regular BlackBerry 10 clock. I mean, this is the regular BlackBerry 10 clock. So that's very obvious.
I think that one looks better.
You also get the gray background, which you get on here. So this is the gray background that's on the Porsche device. And then this one right here is just the regular blue one.
Can you not theme them or anything?
Huh?
Can you not theme them?
No.
No theme store or anything?
No. You can change the ringtones. And then if you go into the settings, it should say in here, it should say BlackBerry Porsche P'9982. Mine says it right here, P'9983. You can't read that there. There we go. Now you can see it. See how it says it there? And then you'll be able to tell that way. So that, let me show you on the other one that I got here. So on this one, you can see right there that maybe it says Z10, not Porsche P'9982. The Porsche BlackBerry has 64 gigabytes of RAM. This one has 16. And then you look at the pen up there. The pen, all BlackBerry phones have a built-in pen because it was pen-based security encryption for being able to talk on BlackBerry Messenger. If you have a Porsche device, your pen will always start with 2AA. And not only was that one just a series marker, but if you ever talked to somebody and got their pen on BlackBerry, you could always tell you were talking to somebody that had a Porsche phone, which was there's just kind of a little extra thing. It was big years ago. So those are just some of the things, but that stuff right there is this one is obviously not a Porsche BlackBerry. And like I said, I think that I don't even think this is metal. And if it is, they rebrushed it because it might actually be metal. But I actually had a P'9982 Porsche before. And this is light gray. It's not black. So that was like the very first obvious thing as soon as it came out of the box. And then I turned it on. I'm like, where's the Porsche background? Where's the clock? Let me look in the settings. Son of a gun.
Son of a gun. If you can hear background noise, I do apologize. The wife's getting everything ready for dinner tomorrow.
So yeah, they tried to swindle the wrong BlackBerry fan. Like I know, like somebody else could get one of these and not know those things and just have gotten swindled and thinking that they have a legitimate Porsche BlackBerry the whole time and not realize it. And it probably cost them $25 to do this and then turn around and sell it for $175 on eBay.
Getting to the end of the year, what would be the top big phone and small phone? Pixel 4a for the small phone.
Yep.
Best big phone.
Well, here, I think we need to divide this into three categories because mid-tier phones are so important right now. Like I would say mid-tier OnePlus 8T, which is nearly borderline flagship, but just because of the price, I'll call it mid-tier. Yes. And if you buy that, I mean, I would happily use a OnePlus 8T as a primary daily driver. I mean, it's still got the Snapdragon 865, 5G, 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage, 120 hertz refresh rate.
If they could put the Google camera in that,
oh, it'd be beautiful.
Game over. That'd be the best phone you could possibly buy.
Yeah. So, yeah,
big phone though.
Big phone. I gotta say the iPhone 12 Pro Max. It's just too good.
See, I've not used that. I've had to go with the Pro because the wife's got the Pro, so I can't really comment on the Pro Max. I'm gonna go with a real wild card here. It was a phone I really, really enjoyed, and it was huge. The LG V60.
The V60 is a phenomenal phone. Here's my thing. I'm just looking at like the pricing stuff and what it has to offer. I'm not going to call it a mid-tier phone because I still think it was LG's flagship phone.
It was a flagship phone. It was people saying it was mid-tier because it was 1080p. That is the biggest joke I've heard. If it was Samsung had brought that out, it'd have been their flagship phone.
Hey, the Note 20 was not a mid-tier phone.
No, and it came with 1080p out of the box.
Exactly. So my thing is, it just doesn't have everything that I think that it needs for it to be the big phone of the year for me. Like having all three of the cameras that the Apple has, and then also their capabilities on there. I feel like top phone. I don't feel that the V60 and the iPhone 12 Pro Max are quite on the same level, but I still think it's a flagship phone. I still think it's a great device. Like it was the V60. I will say may be the most surprisingly good phone for me this year. Like.
Battery went on for days. It didn't have any issue, no lag, no stutter. Screen was really good on it, even though it was only a 60 hertz screen. The camera was really decent on it.
And I was talking to somebody else about this earlier. The screen on the V60 was a sleeper because it was 60 hertz always. It didn't drop frame rates, just like iPhone does. So it feels like a smoother experience than other 60 hertz refresh screen phones. So it was a very, very improved experience. I thought that it was really good. Plus, you get the 32-bit quad DAC, which is just beautiful if you listen to that. Like the V60, I mean, I think could be one. It could be top 3 for like best phone of the year, and by far and away the best phone LG's made in a very long time. I mean, it's super versatile, beautiful screen. It has the best natural color balance out of any camera I've used this year. Like it just, the colors are so color accurate.
The camera, do you not think the Fold 2 was like really good? I thought the Fold 2 camera had really caught up.
The Fold 2 camera was very impressive. I used it for some B-roll. I thought it was very good. So the Fold 2 is the most improved phone of the year.
Yes.
Like there is like everything that the Fold 1 should have been. As far as like favorite phone of the year, for me, it kind of boils down to the Pixel 5, and I just got to see how the OnePlus 8T goes because I've been in love with it since I took it out of the box. Like it is, I really like the OnePlus 8, but getting this one, I'm like, man, this is a special.
18 is fantastic. It really is. I'm now looking forward to seeing what they do with the 9.
Yeah, that'll be really interesting. Yes, I did get mine from China. The listing that I got, mine was $175. I mean, they're still showing as one left. There's only 2 left. And I actually contacted the guy beforehand and asked him some questions about it and paid for the expedited shipping that he waited 6 days to take to DHL to mail after I paid. How do you tell me that you'll get it shipped out faster and get it to me sooner if I pay the $25 for the expedited shipping and then you wait 6 calendar days to take it to the depot to mail it? So I'm going to have a lot of really bad things to say in this feedback and also the transaction, but it's just ridiculous. Yes, you can still use the Amazon App Store. And yeah, it's exactly the same. And then if you need to get into BlackBerry world, then just follow my tutorial video that shows you how to set it up.
In my opinion, LG's UI is not too good. LG's UI this year has
way better,
improved tenfold.
Yeah, it was like on the 5 and the 4 was utter trash. Yes. And then the 6 got a little bit better. The 7 got much better. And then the 8 was basically just slightly better than the 7. But with the V60 this year and the Velvet, much improved, like much. The only concerns that I have, you can't get those phones unlocked. You have to get them from a carrier. And if they come, especially the AT&T one, with more bloatware than I've ever seen on a phone in my entire life.
Yeah.
There's like 50 apps on it.
Yeah, that Velvet was loaded. I mean, luckily nowadays, I mean, at one time, back when the Galaxy first came out and things like that, you couldn't get rid of the bloatware. It wouldn't let you disable it. It wouldn't let you uninstall it. Thankfully, now you can sit there for 35, 40 minutes and get rid of it all. But it's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, it's like uninstall.
Yeah.
Uninstall. It's bad, especially with AT&T. Wow. We've got 32 people in here watching us tonight. That's really impressive. I think it's a new record for one of our shows before, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess everybody happy to see me back.
That's it. They've missed your dulcet tones and my rather boyish good looks.
Funny. Yeah, Luca, I mean, there's ways you can de-bloat them. It's just a fact of the matter that the way that they launched in the States with the carriers, it's just embarrassing that they load that much bloatware on to begin with. And see, it used to be like the
shame on the carriers, too, for holding them over a barrel, making them do that.
Yeah, and they told us that whenever they sent out the review units, they're like, look, these things have a ton of bloatware on them. We have no control over that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a shame. But have you see now in England, you buy a phone from a carrier, you don't have any of that stuff on them. You get the same as the unlocked phone. Say you went to AT&T and buy a phone in England, you wouldn't get all the AT&T crap on there or any of it. You'd get it as if, say you went and bought a Note 20 straight from Samsung. That's how it would come from AT&T. And they're trying to change the law. They can't do that any longer, which would be great.
I was going to say something, but you already knew what I was going to talk about. But yeah, I think that's the way it needs to go. And it used to just be carrier bloatware, but now it's like, here, let me put TripAdvisor on there. Let me put Candy Crush. Why are you still putting Candy Crush on my stinking phone? If that game is 6 years old.
Why not, when I boot up the phone, ask me if I want these? Hey, we can give you these. Go down and tick, 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 tick what you want, or leave them off. I could understand that. That'd be fine.
Now, let me answer this question here. Foldable phones, the future or a gimmick? I don't think they're entirely the future. I think they're part of the future.
And they're not going away.
Yeah, they're not going away. They are going to be just like, think of just different form factors. And I think that it's good, because otherwise you have all these phones that look and function exactly the same. And it was great that we could get to that point for like universal purposes. Like we've got kind of a model form factor that works for us, but that doesn't work for everyone. Some people want more. Some people want a keyboard phone like me. Some people want a swivel screen. Some people want one that opens up. So I like that we're at a point now where companies are being brave enough. Choice, exactly. They're making phones that don't fit the typical mold that other people might want to use. Holy cow, 48 people now.
And I mean, look at the new LG and the new Oppo phone, and now the new Galaxy. Have you seen that? The scroll where they're all coming out where it, instead of it being a port, extends.
TCL has one of those that they're working on. So
they have the 3 screens. Have you seen that? Where it?
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, that's insane.
I'm really excited about what we're going to get moving into 2021, because, of course, we're getting my new BlackBerry. We're getting the new BlackBerry in 2021. I'm going to be happy as a kid in a candy shop.
Foldable one of these, supposedly.
Yeah, they're talking about a possible foldable Pixel phone. We're going to get the new Fold. We're going to get like all these new form factors next year. So I really like what's coming down the pipeline. And the ultimate thing here is we win. Yes. Because the more form factors out there, the more people can get a phone that they want, that excites them. I've been so bored with phones for the last couple of years because it's just the same old, same old. Like if you look at the S8 to the S9, it's like the same phone. They just made the curved edge a little bit more subtle on the screen. Yeah. Or there's been such a lack of originality whenever it comes to a lot of these things. So I am all about it. And I'm glad that people like Samsung and LG are taking the lead with this, because they're
becoming fun again. That's the thing. Like they were back in the 90s where you could only do certain things with a phone, but they made them different styles and shapes and just kind of wacky. And they're becoming that again now. And it's nice to see it. Bit of originality coming through instead of it being a glass sandwich that every phone company makes. And that's what it's been.
Yeah. Here, hold on. Let me answer that question, King Sing. The person I bought it from, their seller information is called 1-DNA. This is the person that I bought my BlackBerry, my fake BlackBerry, my faux Porsche. Yeah. So I to answer that question, I think they're a big part of the future. I think that's a direction that
they're not going to take over. When I say that the future, they're not going to take over, and that's how all your phones are going to be.
Yeah.
but they're going to be side by side with your regular phone. Just like what you're going to get in the future from now is flip phones, because they can now be done. Little flip phones like the Z Flip and things like that. You're going to get your regular candy bar phone, and you're probably going to get a keyboard phone, because if BlackBerry nail it, people are going to go nuts for that thing. And then you're going to have your regular big foldables, or scrollables as they're going to be.
Yeah, so there's no set thing, because you look at like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that really was the start of the modern form factors we got now. 2010, 2009 was a big turning point. So back then there used to be form factors were a dime a dozen. Every company made theirs. They were all made out of plastic. They all did different things. Your keyboard might go this way. Your keyboard might go that way. I mean, shoot, y'all remember the old Nokia N-Gage that you could play games on? I mean,
to have one.
Yeah, so I like, it was like, all right, we want everything to kind of move towards this direction. And then we got there and realized, hey, this is bland and boring. Nobody wants to keep buying these every few years. So we need to make things exciting again. But that's always been something. There's been a lack of innovation in phones. It's the same old, same old. Like the best thing we get in an annual upgrade now is a new camera.
And now that's stopping as well.
Yeah, they're maxed out. It's like
that point. Yeah, I mean,
so I think that the company that's going to suffer the most next year, though, is going to be Apple, because I don't think that Apple is going to have a foldable ready for next year, and all these other companies are going to start having all these really inventive phones come out, and
suffer because people will buy Apple phones regardless.
No, they will. Yes, I mean it's not going to be like, I'm not saying it's a death knell for them. I'm just saying that they're going to lose out on some sales because people are bored. Like I know people who use Apple. They're like, I'm tired of the same old for 10 years.
I think the people who are going to really lose out next year are the companies that sell phones $300 and $400 religiously. Now that the big boys are stepping into the $300, $400, and $500 range, I feel sorry for someone else. Someone like Blue.
You see what Poco did? You see my M3 video that came out?
I haven't seen it yet. No. How is that? Is it good? I can't believe $150.
It's Snapdragon 662, 4 gigs of RAM. You can get 64, 128 gigs of storage. It's got 3 cameras on the back. I'm not overly impressed with the cameras because, I mean, look, you got the 48 megapixel, but you've got a 2 megapixel macro and a 2 megapixel monochrome or black and white. Like, what's the point? So, and then you've also got it doesn't have a high refresh rate, but it has a 6,000 milliamp battery. I mean, I could probably
what the hell? I saw that. I was like, "Whoa!"
I could probably use this phone for 2 days without killing it. It looks just like the other Xiaomi phones. The only thing I'm not really crazy about it so far is I like the fingerprint sensor that's built into the power button, but it's a little on the laggy side. Like it's I've been using the Poco X3 and the Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro, and they're snappy. This one is not snappy. So it's like you push it, and then like a quarter second later, the screen comes on. So that's
though. It's $150. What can you get here for $150?
Especially that kind of processor. Like in the past, you would get like
MediaTek, a low end 2 or 3 year old MediaTek thrown.
Yeah, you'd be getting a P22 or a P60. Yeah. So I really like the direction that they're going with it. The screen actually is not that bad. It's only 400 nits brightness.
Yep.
And this is one thing that's funny. They have it advertised at like a 1500 to 1 contrast ratio or something like that. I'm like, that's great, but nobody uses contrast ratios on a phone as a selling point. You still need the nits. So 400 nits brightness, I mean, it's slightly brighter than a normal LCD monitor on your computer. It's not bad. But I mean, like you look at an iPhone or most other phones are 500 to 600 nits baseline. So, but it's fine inside though. It's just if you go outside and it's bright, you're not going to be able to see much.
Let me just go and get my OnePlus 8T so I can speak to Luca. 1 second.
I'm getting curious about the 8T. What would you say makes it feel so good? So I've got mine right here, and I got to say it's super fast. It's super snappy. The haptic vibration motor in here is probably the best that I've ever used in a phone. It's such a really enjoyable experience to type on. And then even when you're like moving in between, like going back and apps and browsers and stuff like that, it'll give you a little vibration when you do that. The cameras are good. They're nothing amazingly great. Speakers are good. And it's just super, super. I had mine in my pocket because I plan on talking about it sometime. I've actually got the silver one. You have the green one or whatever.
Yeah, I preferred the green one to the silver one.
See, I like the silver one. I like the way the green one looks, but I couldn't use that and keep it. But they gave me this case.
See, I don't use a case. I'm daring with this phone. Everybody who's seen this phone has looked at it and gone, wow. When they see the back of it, because it looks green, but then you put it another way and it's like a teal, bluey, turquoisey color. It really does hit the light really well.
What coating they have. And like, I didn't like the rainbow one. Like the rainbow one looks kind of cheap when it came out on the 8T or the 8, but the 8 Pro and the 8. But this one looks good.
You know what else is really good about this back on this phone?
Wow.
It isn't a fingerprint magnet.
Oh yeah.
It's really not. You know, you get your Samsungs and everything, and they smudge and everything.
Because of the glass.
This one doesn't do that. It doesn't get fingerprints.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's a really good phone, Luca.
Yeah, it really. You wouldn't be disappointed with it, other than the camera. But there is a cheat.
Get Gcam.
Just put Gcam on it.
If you put Gcam on it, you're instantly like 5 times better in the camera area.
The Gcam isn't perfect on it, but it makes a
way better.
Yeah, big difference. Now, when this phone first came out, the camera on it was pretty good. It was getting some pretty decent reviews regarding the camera, and then they brought out an update. And me and Dave West were talking about this. Me and you have mentioned this, and they messed up the camera. But we think they did it on purpose, because then it was this phone has been going into OnePlus 8 Pro territory for a lot less money. So we think that they've purposely balked the camera on this so it doesn't step on the toes of the 8 Pro. Well,
I'm going to answer this one, then I got to get going. We're already over an hour, and I got to get ready to wrap up shop. But it's okay. Now, if you like zombies, it's the best zombies I've played.
Don't even start me on that game.
Shut up.
Don't even start me on Black Ops.
Okay. Anyway, the multiplayer is okay. It's buggy as all get out. The maps they feel like refreshes of other maps. Like every single one of them I played on, it gives me this feeling like it's from another game. Like there's not a whole lot of originality. Now, I will say it looks beautiful. Like the ray tracing, the lighting, which isn't even it's not everywhere.
Only in single player though.
Yeah.
Doesn't look good in multiplayer.
I haven't played single player. I never play single player Call of Duty games. I don't know.
It's very good, and it looks superb compared to the multiplayer. The multiplayer is Black Ops 1 in 2010. And Black Ops 1 in 2010 was really good. But we're now 2020, and it still plays like 2010's Black Ops.
Yeah.
Through a door. What?
Yeah, they did some things. So I don't know. But as far as zombies, if you like zombies, I like it a lot. I think that it's good. I guess I'll answer this real quick. I'm not sure. I'm probably going to order another one, but I got to wait for some stuff to pan out with, one, returning this and seeing if I can get it. I'm not just going to buy a used one. I'm going to look for one that ideally comes with the box maybe. So we'll see. The only problem I have is here in the U.S., when January 1 rolls around, I'm not going to be able to use it on T-Mobile anymore because it doesn't have voice over LTE. So that's problematic for me wanting to spend a lot of money on one, which is one of the reasons why I got this one, because it said it was new open box for $175. It was worth it for me to add to my collection. I'm not spending $400 or $500 to get one I'm not going to be able to use. Just so that's the hang up. If it would still work for another couple of years with my primary phone number, I would buy another one tomorrow. But I just got to see how this pans out, because I got 4 kids' birthdays and Christmas coming up, and then the next couple of weeks. Yeah. Kid's birthday, November 30th, December 1st, December 2nd, and December the 16th, and then Christmas. So
don't know what you guys are doing at a certain time at certain times of the year.
Well, they're staggered. Like my wife's is November 30th, and then my 2 are December 1st and 2nd, and then my daughter from my wife is on the 16th. So I don't know that a $400 BlackBerry is going to be in my future in the next couple of weeks, but we'll see what happens. But I'm glad you got yours. Hopefully you enjoy it. And we're going to wrap this up, and still 32 people in here. This is amazing. Thank you all so much for showing up tonight. It's been really, really great having a nice audience in here tonight to talk to, and we like to talk and interact with people. So it's great to have the more the merrier in here. If you could kindly, you had a good time, hit the like button on the way out. If you want, hit the subscribe button.
Subscribe to us both as well on YouTube.
Yep. And make sure you subscribe to Dan's channel. It's down in the description. So click on that. And
this really quick. Druv Victor, the President of the United States, will have no difference whatsoever on Huawei coming back into the United States because it's not him necessarily that had the problem.
Well, it's a national security issue.
Yeah, exactly. No, everyone seems to be thinking this. Oh, Huawei is going to get back into the US. No, they're not. That's why they're getting kicked out of other countries. They've been kicked out of the UK.
England now, yeah, they've got kicked out of a lot of places because they were.
That's a wishful thinking that's not going to happen.
Yeah. So y'all have a wonderful and a happy Thanksgiving. Y'all stay safe, eat good food. We'll be back. Yeah, we'll be back again next Wednesday at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern time. Again, thank you so much for stopping by. We very much enjoyed it, and we'll see y'all next time.
Later, Gators.